All right, everyone, this is the similar figures test review. We're going to start with vocabulary. I'll start with the definitions. The sum of all side lengths of a polygon is called the perimeter. The number multiplied by one figure equal to a similar figure, well, one figure 2 equals similar figure, is the scale factor. A statement showing two figures are similar is called a similarity statement. Sides and angles that are in the same position in two figures are corresponding parts. In a proportion, multiplying the numerator of one fraction with the denominator of another is cross product. Two fractions that are equal to each other is a proportion. And this is supposed to be proportional, sorry. The comparison of two or more quantities would be a ratio. Figures whose lengths and sides are proportional, whose angles are congruent, same shape, different size, that would be similar. Same shape, same size would be congruent. Values that maintain the same ratio, simplified to the same fraction, would be proportional. Okay, I hope that's right. Oh, thank you. Alrighty, number 11. What is the scale factor of figure A to figure B? So A, just pick a side. It doesn't really matter which side. Thank you. That'll be 25.2. I'll just use the 25.2. It's a smaller number than the 36, so make sure you use the smaller number in figure B as well. You can't just pick all willy-nilly. So that's going to be 25.2 for figure A, 14 for figure B, and you just need to change that to a fraction. So type it in your calculator as a division problem, and then just change it to a fraction. Actually, you know what? I'll make it easier. You can do it that way. That'll be fine, but I'll just use the non-fraction numbers. Oh, thought that was a highlighter. It was not. So I'll do the 36 and the 20. Okay. So if I simplify that, it looks like 4 can go into 36 9 times, and it goes into 20 5 times. So there you go. Go ahead and try number 12. Number 13. In the diagram below, we see that DE, or we don't see it. It tells us that DE and BC are parallel, and that the triangles are similar, so we need to write an equation to solve for x. And don't forget, these have to be parallel for us to do what I'm about to do. 8 over 10 equals 18 over x. You can do that, or you could do, 8 over 18 equals 10 over x. It doesn't really matter. You could do it a few different ways. Just make sure when you cross multiply, you get the same thing. So you see, when I cross multiply, I get 10 times 18. I still get 10 times 18 when I do it that way. So it doesn't change the cross product. Go ahead and try number 14. All right, number 15. What is the length of EG? So EG, we'll put an X there because that's what it's asking us for. And then it tells us that these triangles are similar. So I think it's pretty obvious which angles match up, but yeah. So I'm going to put 7 over X because these are corresponding sides. And then I'll put 5 over 10 because those are corresponding sides. All right, so that'll be, when we cross multiply, that'll be 5x equals 70. And when we divide both sides by 5, we get x equals 14. All right, go ahead and try number 16. 17, rectangular dining room floor at Mrs. Robinson's restaurant is 16 by 20 feet. Which rug dimensions are similar? All right, so 16 by 20, or 16 to 20, will reduce to 4 to 5. So we're looking for one of these answers that will reduce to 4 over 5. Lego. So for the first one, we got 8 to 12. If we reduce that, it's going to be 2 to 3, so that's not the one we needed. The second one is 10 to 14. If we reduce 10 to 14, that's going to be, what, 5 to 7? We don't need that one either. Let's try the third one. We got 12 to 15. If we divide top and bottom by 3, we get 4 to 5, and that's the one we needed. Go ahead and try number 18. Number 19. What measures of S, W, and TW would be sufficient to prove these triangles are similar? All right, so we see that this is 27, this is 9. Now we could be fancy if you want and do proportions. We could do a 27 over 9. I'll make that X, I'll make that Y. Equals X, and then which one matches up with that? SW. SW matches up with XZ. X, where's XZ? There it is. Oh, they're already facing the same direction. That's funny. All right, so we could do like that, and that will totally be fine. If you can kind of see, though, this times 3 should equal this one. And I'm sorry, I told you I wasn't going to use an X for multiplication. So times 3. So what is 5 times 3? It's 15, isn't it? So we could just do that. And 8 times 3, again, times 3, is just 24. We could just do that. So you could use a proportion, but if you don't have to, then don't. If I wanted to set up a proportion for y, I would put 27 over 9 equals equals y over 8. And then I would just solve it like that. But you should get the same answer. Go ahead and try number 20. All right, number 21, determine the value of x. So since we see these arrows, we can go ahead and do our 30 over x plus 7 equals 25 over 15. And then we're just going to cross multiply and divide. Cross multiply and solve. Okay. So we got that. Looking nice. We're going to distribute. So that'll be 25x plus 175 equals 450. That should look really familiar. And I'm going to subtract the 175 from both sides. So that's going to be 25x equals 275, and I'll divide both sides by 25, giving me 11 for x. Go ahead and try number 22. All right, number 23, examine and figure out which statements are true. All right, so it says ADE, so that's this angle right here, is congruent to angle ABC, which is down there. That is true, because these are parallel, so that's true. AED, so AED is over here, is congruent to ACB, which is there. That is also true. Triangle ADE, that triangle, is similar because of the AA similarity. Yeah, for sure. Angle, AA. So that is also true. Side is not true. So all the other 3 are true. This one's good, and this one's good. Go ahead and try number 24. Number 25, use the proportional segments theorem. So fancy word, we're just going to solve it. There are 2 different ways to do this. So I'm going to do 4 over 8 equals, 4 over 8 equals x over, and this little section right here is 24 minus x. So I could do 24 minus x. I could do it that way. Or make my life, I think, a little easier. I'm going to just find the total on this side. So 4 plus 8 is 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put x over 24, right? So I'm going to do part to whole. And then I'm going to do this part to this whole, 4 to 12. And I'm just going to solve that one. I feel like that second one is easier. So let's do it. 12 times x is 12x. 24 times 4 is, 48? 96. And then when I divide, I should get 8. You should get 8 no matter what. Like if you use the first one or the second one. Go ahead and try number 26. Number 27, in this figure below, they intersect at point E. 1 and 2 are congruent. Then of course 3 and 4 are congruent because they're vertical angles. What theorem of postulate can be used to prove? Well, we got an angle and an angle, so guess what? That's angle, similarity. Go ahead and try number 28. 29, calculate the geometric mean 8 over x equals x over 12. So that's going to be x times x, and that's 8 times 12, which is 96. And to find our final answer, we have to take the square root. The square root of x squared is just x, and the square root of 96 is 9.79. Well, that's going to round up to 8 because of what's after the 9. Go ahead and try number 30.